Food styling is not one of those things that you traditionally think, oh, let's see, I'll be a doctor or a teacher. No, a lawyer. No, a food stylist. No, most people, including when I first started, didn't know there was such a thing as a food stylist. Because my career began as an art director in an ad agency, my clients were food. So I had McDonald's and Kraft and Maple Leaf Meats, and every time we did a photo shoot, there would be a food stylist. So they go, oh, that's a hilarious job, because until then, I had no idea that food needed to be manipulated. And so when they brought out the hairspray and the pins and the thing, I thought, oh, I love this. And slowly, inexorably, I was drawn into it's so compelling, it's so interesting, it's so sneaky. Working on Hannibal was such a joy. But of course, when you're first starting on the show, you think, oh, I don't know, what is the mood? What is my direction? And I thought, I'll look at Hannibal. Hannibal is making the food. The show is Hannibal. I'm just going to take his personality and I'm going to make it. That's the way I'm going to make the food. I wanted to make it horribly scary, lethal, possibly, but so compelling. You know it's wrong, but your hand reaches out because you need to eat it. That's my model for the food for Hannibal, was the man himself. When you're working on a show like Hannibal and things are going at such a fast pace, I think this goes for any TV series. It's it's not like a movie where things are charted out. With a TV series, it's go, 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 and then rest for 3 minutes and then do it again. So you find yourself working late at night. And for the Jillian's roast leg, I thought, okay, I can't just cobble this together because they might want to slice it on the camera. So I actually need a leg. Like, what kind of animal? And I was about 2 o'clock in the morning. I said, there must be a zoo somewhere where a giraffe has died. And then I thought to myself, stop it. Stop it right now. You're going too far. You're not Hannibal. Go back to the kitchen. And I made it out of pork. So I behaved myself that time. It's not anxiety. It's more excitement. And you think, well, anything is possible. I can pull that out of the bag. I'll get this, I'll get that. But I didn't call the zoo. I'm proud of myself. Well, every TV show has its own pace, and it might be the writer's room, maybe. It might be the director, because that's the other thing about episodic television. You get a different director. You don't have the same director all the time, so you're not quite sure. But all you know is it's a moving train, and you had better be on the platform with your stuff when the train pulls into the station. So there's a lot of waiting for the train, but in the meantime, you do have to be as organized as possible. The more chaotic it seems, the more organized you have to be, prepared for everything that can and will go wrong. So I read the script, I analyze what I think the message is, I do some sketches, send them to the director, send them to Brian, send them to the writer's room. If everybody's got time, or if they haven't, they send me notes, I make my alterations, and then I make my plan. And then I bring it to the station, and let's hope the train pulls in. Every dish for Hannibal was a challenge because of Brian Fuller's energy and because everybody in the show was so committed. You wanted everything to be the best. You wanted everything to be surprisingly fabulous. And so every dish was a challenge. Even if it didn't look like it was a challenge on the plate, you made it into a challenge because you wanted to be better than anything anybody's ever seen before. I would say, though, technically, the most challenging thing was definitely anchovies floating in a choladietz, which is a jelly mold of chopped chicken and various things, but with the anchovies swimming in formation in the top of the mold, which presents many problems because at the time of the shoot, anchovies were not in season. Jelly is not transparent. It's actually opaque. Like glass, if it's very, very thick, you can't actually see through it. It was the most difficult technically thing because also you're making it a mold, so you don't know if it turns out until you unmold it. That was difficult because you are taking all these things to set. You can't unmold it and then put it back into the mold because you might break it. So you take everything to set, unmolded on set. And then it stays like that because Hannibal, the character, has to lift off them. And only then do you find out if it worked. One of my favorite types of cuisines is outer space. I love making food for other planets because I don't believe anybody is going to come to me and say, they didn't eat that. But it also, just like food for humans, on the planet, you want to show the kind of food that tells what kind of planet is. Is it Venus or is it Mars? You really want to show the characteristic of the inhabitants through the food.